I really need to turn on the sound. I was like, why is it so quiet? Okay, oh, that was too loud. Okay, now it's all set. Okay. What's going on, guys? Welcome. This is actually the very last video of, what month is it, Trey? July?
July. It's that one, yeah.
Yes, the very last video of July. My goal is to upload every single day in July, and one day we kind of cheated a little bit because I uploaded a video saying I was streaming, but honestly, I think that counts. If you don't think it counts, you can contact my secretary. But yes, we have 2 eject buttons. Is that fine?
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you. If you've been watching my content this month, thank you very much. Thanks really much. Means a lot. I had a lot of fun this month. It was definitely challenging. There were definitely days where I didn't feel like uploading, but made it through. We did it. And I'm glad we did. And today we're doing something really special. I think this is going to be really fun. This is another time where I'm going in really blind. I don't really know what's going to happen. But we're joined by Trey. If you hadn't figured that out, Trey, you have anything to say to the people?
Hello. I'm really excited to show you guys what we've got today. We have a very, very interesting mechanic slash glitch slash very fun thing, and we're gonna start out with showing something off. So, we see here on Wolfey's side that he's got a level 1 Steelix, and this Steelix can Mega Evolve because it's a good Steelix. And now, I just wanted to get you guys to see what happens to this Steelix when my Kyogre uses Water Spout on it. I just kind of want you guys to see that real fast. And, yeah. And then we're going to do a second battle, and we're going to see what happens when we make Water Spout even stronger. And we'll see what happens after that point. So, yeah, I just kind of wanted to show this off. And we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, so basically, we wanted to show that without applying the glitch, that what you kind of would expect to happen will happen, which is that I've got 2 Pokemon here that are level 1 against a level 100 Kyogre with an item that you will find out in a second.
Yep.
Choice specs. So what do you guys think is going to happen? You think Steelix, the best Pokemon ever? Regular Steelix does have Sturdy, but this Steelix does not.
I don't think this one does.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I don't think this one does. Yeah, but go ahead and Mega Evolve anyway.
Yeah. I have a question, Trey. Do you go by Trey? I always call you Trey, but in the comments, someone was like, "Wait, is that Leonard?" Because am I calling you the wrong name?
Huh?
Am I
Oh, sorry, I might have. Oh no, sorry, you might have. Yeah, you might have cut me. I might have cut out a little bit there.
I was just saying, so I know you go by Leonard as well. So what do you prefer to go by?
Oh, either or works for me. I go by both Leonard and Trey. Leonard is my birth name, but Trey is a nickname that I've picked up growing up, and so that's, for example, what I use on some social media. On other social media, I use Leonard. So either one is fine for me.
Okay.
So if you call me by either, I will answer to either.
Oops,
but anyway, that was Water Spout. So it O-code Mega Steelix. Big surprise. Are you guys surprised at that? If you guys are surprised, well, congratulations. Now you know how much damage a level 100 does to a level 1.
With choice
and
specs.
that's the end of the video.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. We really appreciate it. Oh, I have to pull up the script. Now, even though I have the script, I haven't read ahead. I just yeah. I just have it here.
No. We got something special in store.
I'm excited. I'm really excited. Okay, I gotta lead with these. I bring all 6, right?
Yeah, you bring all 6.
Okay. Okay, make sure I did that right. Okay. Lead Executor and Smeargle. Okay.
Oh no! Wait.
You noob.
You're supposed to. No. You're supposed to. Gosh darn it! Oh, it should be fine. We'll just burn a turn.
What did I do?
We were supposed to lead Steelix and Smeargle this time, but it'll be okay.
Oh, it says battle. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I see. I didn't see battle number 1 at the top. I'm trying to read as little as possible.
Yeah. All right.
Traveling. Okay, so I need to switch.
All right. So yes.
I need to switch Executor into Steelix.
Yeah, go ahead and just soak my Farfetch'd in the meantime.
Okay.
I'll just double sleep talk, and then we'll be back on track.
Cool. Sorry about that, guys. Switch Executor to Steelix. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't see battle number 1.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, yeet.
All right.
So now your Farfetch'd is
Now-
water type.
Yeah, he is water type. I won't affect anything, but yeah. Okay, so go ahead and Mega Evolve and use Soak on your own Steelix and just go for another Sleep Talk.
Okay. Why am I making my Steelix water type, or does it not? Is it just
because we want him to be a water type.
Okay.
We will we use
Everything will be explained later. Everything will be explained later.
Yeah.
This is kind of something where I'm just
For
as
now-
confused as you guys.
Yeah, you guys got to go with the flow for right now. Just trust me on this one. We're gonna do some fun stuff.
Oh, you're
All right,
definitely
so
baton passing.
Yeah. Oh, good. You know it gets baton pass.
I
See, I didn't.
I don't know
I had to
how.
look it up.
How do I know
look it
that?
up.
Is it an XD move?
No, you just get my level up.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really easy to get. Yeah.
Oh god.
That's why I chose it. Clam Mind.
Clam mind. I love clams. I think about them all the time.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Turn 2.
All right.
Okay. Who do I use Force Curse on?
You use Forest Curse. Oh, I didn't specify that. Do that on Steelix again.
Okay. And then Sleep Talk.
So we are going. Yep. You're going to make him a grass boy.
Oh, goodbye, Farfetch'd.
Bye.
I also knew Farfetch'd got Simple Beam.
Oh, okay.
Neck. Where is its neck? That's like a
I
jealous
don't know.
nickname.
Where'd it go?
Oh, that's an awesome animation. Holy cow.
Yeah, I think it looks cool.
I want to use that all the time. That's one of the coolest animations I've ever seen. Malamar, Inky also gets Simple Beam.
Yes, I think it does.
Well,
I'm not
Malamar
using
does,
it
at least.
on this particular one.
Okay, so now we're 10-3. Oh, God. Okay, what does Smeargle do? Oh, Smeargle uses light screen. Sorry.
Yep.
Okay, Psych up into Grapharig.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, Psych up into Grapharig.
Yes.
Sorry, I really don't want to mess it up because it's so particular and I don't know what's going on. So it's not like I can just intuitively know what to do.
All right. He becomes even more calm.
He's
Look how calm he
very
is.
clam. I feel like people like Girafarig. Do people like Girafarig?
Press 1 if you like Giraffe Rig.
1.
All right.
Oh!
Oh! Oh no!
Oh my god! That was also a really cool animation. I was like, man, we're making Steelix really, really bulky. Alright, let's take a look at this. Ooh, Steelix. Oh, Steelix. Oh, no.
Yeah, we just dropped him down quite a bit. So yeah.
Okay, interestingly enough, if you hit Steelix typing, it says water in the top right, but then it doesn't say water grass on the bottom. Like, it says Forest Curse. It says
I
water.
know, I think that's so weird.
It is weird, right?
Yeah, I
okay.
can't imagine why they decided to do it that way.
Alright, get ready for some big damage. So as you guys expect, Steelix is the best Pokemon ever, so we're gonna OHKO our Smeargle here with Tackle.
Let's see here. I have to remember what
Oh, I didn't switch!
No, you're
Oh.
fine. You're fine. Yeah, you have the eject button, so
That's
you'll
right.
switch
I thought I misunderstood, sorry.
Good. You are Gucci. Alright.
Goodbye. Hello.
He is here. Look at how lucky you are today.
I feel really lucky, honestly. I can't believe you made my Steelix get the -6. Poor Steelix.
Yeah. Alright.
Alright, let's go into Jupiter.
Yep. He's like mini spider. You have
Itsy
like
bitsy.
big spider, and then you have regular spider, and now you have little spider.
Okay, Steelix used Tackle on Jupiter. Jupiter Entrainment on Girafarig.
Yep.
Okay. Tackle Jupiter.
Alright.
Okay.
Oh!
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now we have -6 Mega Steelix.
Yep. Don't forget we have a +6 Girafarig that's just baton passed into Kyogre.
So that's a 4 times multiplier on one side versus a 4 times multiplier on the other side. How is that a 16 times? Am I an idiot? That's like a 16 times, right?
Yeah, you can think of it approximately 16 times. And it's going to get even stronger, too, because we've just used entrainment, and that passes the water bubble ability to Kyogre. So now it gets its water type attacks twice as strong. So
But I thought this thing
that's
was
pretty cool.
I thought this thing was choice spec. So aren't you gonna have to attack
is.
here?
Yeah, it is. It is also choice spec. So go to Shedinja. Trust me, I have a plan. Don't worry. I got a plan.
Okay.
All right. And I want to take a little bit of time to explain what this turn is going to take. We're going to have Shedinja use Final Gambit on my Kyogre. What a shame. It won't have exactly full power Water Spout, but it'll still be pretty close. It'll be at 149 base power, you know. You take what you can get. I do that just to make sure that Water Spout has a single target attack on this Steelix, which is really important because we don't want the spread move damage to weaken our Water Spout any. We want this Water Spout to be as strong as we can get. Moreover, I'm also going to be using Helping Hand with my Farfetch'd. So you saw at the start of this video that Steelix, when it didn't have -6, and when I didn't have +6, still died to Water Spout. So, guys, place your bets. Do you think that Steelix is going to die to Water Spout this turn? Press 1 if you think Steelix is dying.
Wait, no. Press S if you think it's gonna die, because we have to keep the one separate because we already asked. Press 1.
Oh, you're right.
Press. Actually, sorry. Press K if you think it's gonna. No, sorry. Press D if you think it's gonna die. Press S if you think it's gonna survive. Okay. And I rest with Steelix, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm excited. Just give me this big rest.
Clap it up.
Chaz it up. Okay, so we're gonna do big damage here. Wait, that's so funny. It turned red immediately.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Okay, Water Spout. Steelix!
Oh! How much did it take, bro?
It took 10! It took 10 damage. Okay.
So, all right. So Steelix, he has proved his worth. He has survived the Water Spout this time. And so now I want to give Steelix some help. So we're going to send in Aselgor, and Aselgor is going to help Steelix. All right, he's going to use Final Gambit onto Kyogre. Hopefully.
If it will load.
Please.
Oh, please don't disconnect.
No!
That's so sad. Oh, it did disconnect for you?
Yeah, it did.
Oh, it's still frozen for me. Okay. Well, we're gonna recreate it. I promise we're not gonna do anything different. And we'll get back to this point, and then I'll edit the videos together. We'll be right back. Okay, so we had a lot of disconnects. We had 2 more, I think. But we're just about back. So we're just gonna redo these last few turns just to show you guys that we didn't do anything funky between the disconnects. Not that I don't think anyone would be like, "Wow, Wolfie, I can't believe you." Did what like would have, I don't think anyone would think that we changed anything, especially given that we've already shown that you can live like that. You can already we did most of it,
Yeah.
But yeah, Shedinja, cool. So yeah, it's exactly where it was before. I'll just show on the screen. Sure, I have a question.
Yep.
Does the not very effective sound and the very not very effective sound make a different sound?
Oh gosh.
Is Water Spout into Water Grass a different sound than Water Spout into Water? You see what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's your next research. Final game on Kyogre rest.
Yes, very important.
Very important. I really need to know. You're the one who told me. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there is a cool thing. You can actually figure out how heavy a Pokemon is.
I was just about to say. I was like, you're the one who told me about that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you can figure out how heavy a Pokemon is based on the sound it makes when it comes in, and also the little dust that comes up out of its feet. It was more apparent in Generation 5, but it still works today.
That blew my mind.
Here's that Water Spout. Yeah, see, still living.
Yeah, same damage.
How much did it do this time?
10 again.
Okay, 10. All right. Perfect, yeah.
Gotta go nap. Okay, so we have 1 turn left of this thing. Please. Please. Okay, Excelgor. And then final game at Kyogre? Yeah.
Yep. All right. So we saw that, Kyogre has a 149 base power Water Spout. That's pretty strong. What if we help Steelix out a little bit, Let's get rid of this rain. Let's get rid of Kyogre's really strong attack here. So this Excelgor is specifically engineered so Kyogre will be left with 1 HP. So it'll only have a 1 base power Water Spout. And my Farfetch'd will be helping out Steelix a little bit with its Sunny Day. So we saw before that survived this water spout pretty comfortably. You know, it took 10 damage, so it had, I believe, 3 HP left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so now we've decided to weaken our Kyogre a little bit, you know, to help Steelix out a little bit more. So maybe it'll take less damage, right?
Yeah, that's what I would expect.
Yeah. So use water spout.
We just really cut the power down.
Yeah.
That's a 1 base power move in Sun. That's a 0.5 base power move.
Goodbye.
And just to show that we do still have the choice books like Kyogre, just to prove it.
The proof.
The proof. And there you go. I'm glad you had him hold a stick, even though it really didn't matter. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so now
he has stick.
Has stick. Yeah, that would be a bad nickname if he didn't. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is Trey actually wrote up kind of like a more technical explanation. So we're gonna jump into that right now.
Yep.
And I'm actually just gonna I'm not even gonna edit this. We're just gonna do this. Okay, cool. So let me just present. Home. Where's animation slideshow from beginning. All right, cool. So Trey, I'm just gonna have the in-game music play. You can just kind of just say next slide when you want next slide. I'm on the first slide. How the magic works, damage overflow.
All right, let's go to the next slide then. All right. So do you see all the text on the screen, or is it...
I'll just bring all the text up at once.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, let's go ahead and just do that.
Okay.
That'll make it a little bit easier.
Cool.
To start off, we need to have a little bit of understanding about the damage formula in order to understand what the heck's going on here. So we know that it's pretty well known since Gen 5, but we don't have too much official documentation about it after Gen 5 as far as like really super technical stuff goes. But we do know that in general, the damage formula has a really specific and precise way of actually how it calculates damage. If you apply things out of order the wrong way, you're probably going to get a rounding mistake and not going to get the actual damage that you want. Mm-hmm. So that's basically what damage... that's a very brief synopsis of the damage formula. So let's go into our second slide on background info.
What does floor mean here when it says base damage equals floor?
Oh, yeah, that's important. Yeah, okay. So floor means that if you have a decimal, the decimal basically gets chopped off. The official word for that is truncated. So like say I had, let's say I have 32.3. That'd get like rounded down to 32.
Yeah.
If I had like 32.5, it'd be 32. And if I had like 32.8, it'd be 32. You never round. Mm-hmm. So that's what floor means.
Okay. Cool. So basically, so from this formula, you can already see that if like round it truncates it does the floor thing like several times in the formula, so that like can kind of snowball over time in that to create errors if you apply your modifiers at the wrong time, right?
Yeah, okay. Exactly. And this is only just the base damage as well. This is a very, very small portion of the damage formula, but I thought I'd show that bit on.
Okay. So that's not even the full thing.
No. You can't show the full thing on one page.
Okay. Okay, cool. So now we're on background info.
Yep. And so back in April 2018, there was a user named Sadistic Mystic who proved that damage could actually overflow. And so I have his little profile picture there. Uh-huh. And so the theoretical maximum value for damage is this 2 to the 32 minus 1. And I'll explain why it's that number here in a bit. And that's the number what it is evaluates to. It's like 4.2 billion or something. Okay. That's pretty high.
Yeah.
So overflow means... Yeah. When overflow means that when the number is larger than its limit, it loops back around to the smallest possible value. So let's say instead that the overflow was 128. Okay. So once you get to 128, you start overflowing. So let's say I'm counting up, and I say 126, 127, 128, can't do that. So I go back down to 0.
Okay.
And then I start counting from there again, 0, 1, 2. And the reason it does this in general is because of technical, not limitations, but it's just for technical reasons because of the 3DS itself. And so on the next slide, we'll see some pictures of that. So the 3DS does its math, or at the very least, the math relevant to the damage formula, using an ARM11 processor, which came out in 2005. If you look under the registers section, it says it uses 32-bit registers. And I'll explain what that means in just a sec on the next slide. So this is the processor that Nintendo used, so you can just look up the user manual for this, and that's what it says. So on the next slide, we see I have a little bit of an explanation about what 32-bit means. So you might know of a bit as a way you can say a 1 or 0. You might have heard of 1s and 0s used in computer language and stuff like that. if you have 32 of these ones and zeros available to represent a number, the largest number that you can represent with all of those 32 bits together is 2 to the 32 minus 1. So it's 2 to the 32 because you have two choices, and then you have 32 of those bits available. So it's 2 raised to the 32. And we say minus 1 because we like to count 0. 0 is very helpful.
Right.
So even though we can do 64-bit math, which is like one higher step up, which would allow us to get way bigger numbers than 4 billion or something like that. With 32-bit registers, Game Freak was probably like, the maximum amount of HP on a Pokemon right now is 714. Like, I think we can get away with, if someone wants to do a couple thousand, that's fine. It'll be fine. 4 billion, we'll just let it slide. Stuff like that. Because
it has almost no, like, there's almost, there's not a single instance of somebody in competitive play using like damage overflow, right?
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, you'll never see this.
So, okay, sorry, continue.
Yeah. Next up on the next slide, we're going to start breaking down this damage calculation. And so I've split this up into separate steps, and this is going to be a bit of math, so hang with me. You can just pay attention to the numbers on the screen, and you don't actually have to do the math yourself because I've already done it for you, so you're just fine here. The special attack of Kyogre in this case is 311. It's actually not max special attack. I chose this number for a very specific reason. But anyway, in addition to the special attack on Kyogre, it has +6 special attack because of that baton pass from Girafarig. We gave it Water Bubble because of entrainment from a little spider guy. And we also had choice specs, as you saw. And so when you multiply all those numbers together, you get 3,700 something. The base power of Water Spout was slightly less than its 150 at max power because of Shedinja's 1 HP Final Gambit, the biggest Final Gambit you've ever saw.
The biggest one.
And it had Helping Hands on top of that. So 149 times 1.5 is our 223.5, but it gets rounded down. You'll see a general theme with this. You tend to see this floor or rounding down, if you will, come up a lot throughout the damage formula. And then finally, for Mega Steelix, it only had a lowly special defense of 6. Poor Steelix.
It had 1 special defense.
Yeah, it had 1. This poor Mega Steelix, you can't get a defense stat down to 0, unfortunately. That'd be really funny. You don't know what happens when you do that, but if you we just got it down to 1, so that's fine. And then everything else that you saw, stuff like rain, will get applied later. So we'll deal with that as it comes.
Let me just make sure that my face cam isn't blocking anything. I can't tell. It should be fine. Okay, sorry. Continue.
All right. So on the next slide, I have just some math. So you saw the formula that I put earlier. And so basically on this slide and the next slide, I showed how I plugged in the appropriate numbers, and we kept going on down. And if you go to the next slide, there's a...
Sorry, I just want to look at this. Give me 1 sec. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, next slide.
Yeah. Keep going down all those ones. And you'll see at the end a really big one that says base damage equals...
69,908.
Yep, 699,080. So that's our base damage. This is what it's starting at. This is before we do anything else. So pretty strong right now.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we have the weather. That's the next thing you do in the damage formula. So say the damage formula as it is coded. So we just multiply that number and 1.5 to account for rain, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Wait. You're telling me that rain doesn't apply 1.5 multiplier? Sorry.
No, it does. Keep go up on the next slide.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Wait. Sorry. We gotta read. Life Orbit's 1.3 damage.
Yep. So what this slide is showing is something very peculiar about how Game Freak actually stores its modifiers, and this actually applied before too, but I kind of just skimmed over it. So when you have a number like 1.3 for Life Orb, it's really hard to represent that as a decimal, or say 1 point, or some other decimals that Game Freak might have, like 2/3. 2/3 is difficult to represent by a fraction, which is how Game Freak stores its numbers. So it decided to keep everything regular and divide everything by 4,096. And so it does this even for stuff like rain, which is this 1.5. You could have just taken it times 3 divided by 2 and you would have been good. But no, Game Freak decided, let's keep it consistent. I'll multiply by 6,144 divided by 4,096.
Which is equal to 3
Yeah.
over 2. Or, yeah, 3 over 2.
Yeah, it's exactly equal to 3 over 2. You can reduce it down and it'll be just fine.
I just did that.
Excellent. All right. And so on the next slide, we'll see what happens if we actually try this.
Okay.
So we multiply it to account for rain, but we have a problem when we do that first step. The 699,000 times the 6,144. We get a really big number. This is bigger than that 2 to the 32 minus 1. And so the ARM11 processor says, oh no, this is bigger than 2 to the 32 minus 1. It's too big. I'll just make it fit. And so what it does is it dropped off the leading 1 in binary to make it fit. And in doing so, it subtracts 4.2 billion from the answer. So that's cool. All right. On the next slide, yep, we'll see what happens. So when we actually subtract that, now we get 180,244. But don't forget to divide by that 4,096. So you get 44. And so basically what's happened here is you took 699,000 and something, take it times 1.5, and now it is 44. And this is our current damage.
Okay. And now we have to account for the type, right? Sorry.
Yep. We have to account for, on the next slide. We'll have to account for a lot of things. We have to account for the random damage roll. We have to account for stab, typing. We also had light screen.
That's right.
We made sure that I couldn't get a critical hit thanks to that lucky chant, so we don't have to account for that. But right now we have, I show off the fancy formula. Basically, I'm just going to show off the lowest and highest damage rolls in between. So if you have the lowest amount of damage given 44 as a start, it's going to be 37. So right now we're dealing with 37 to 44 damage, roughly. So on the next slide, I have some more math, and I'll just skim over that. You guys can read it if you want. You can pause and see what's going on. So we apply stab next, and that gets rounded if it needs to be. We apply the type effectiveness. Because Steelix was water and grass type, it resisted it 4 times, so that weakens it a little bit. And then we have light screen. So light screen is really weird because light screen in a double battle always uses the double battle screen modifier. It's really weird. So if you play both singles and doubles, you'll know that reflect and light screen are actually stronger in singles than in doubles. But even though water spout was a single target attack, still the double screen multiplier is applied, and this 2,703 divided by 4,096 is the multiplier for that. So if you work through all of this math, you get the damage should be somewhere between 8 to 10.
I have a question.
Yeah.
There's a situation in VGC where you can activate singles light screen, right? Is it when your partner gets KO'd first?
You cannot actually.
Well, I thought you could. Didn't we test that last year?
We did test it. I remember I was wrong about that.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, back in VGC 17, we thought if you used like Memento with Whimsicott and then you use like Aurora Veil with Ninetales, you could get like super powered screens for the rest of the battle, but it turned out that wasn't the case, and I had made a mistake when I had tested it the first time. Okay. And so all of our hopes and dreams were dashed.
Crushed.
Anyway, so it should be somewhere between 8 to 10. And as you saw from the damage, it did
10
in the
twice.
actual, it did 10 twice. So.
Yeah.
But what about on next slide, please?
Yeah.
But what about when Kyogre had 1 HP in the sun? So we need to think about what's different here. The attack was still the same as before. We didn't change anything about the attack. The base power took a big hit.
Yeah.
Because now we're only 1 out of 341 HP. It's just 1 base power. Even if we had Helping Hand on top of that, 1 times 1.5 is going to be just 1.5, and that gets rounded back down to 1. So it didn't do anything, but we didn't have Helping Hand anyway. And the only other thing that changed was we had sun rather than rain. Everything else is the same. So on the next couple of slides, again, go ahead.
Sorry, I misclicked.
Okay. So on the next couple of slides, we go through the math again for the base damage. Hopefully you guys can all see that. And so when we get into the ending of the base damage, we see that this one is much more modest, 3,136.
From a 1 HP water spout.
Yeah, so this took a big hit from what we had before. Nearly 700,000, and now it's down to 3,000 for Kyogre. And so we have sun this time, so we need to account for this. Doing it the technical way will be multiplying it by 2,048 divided by 4,096, but there's not going to be any overflow this time. The multiplied numbers together aren't going to be that big, so we just get a pretty boring 1,568, and so When you do the damage roll math on that, the minimum value is going to be 1,332, and the max value is still going to be that 1568. So that's what's going on there. And then on the next slide, we will see that if you are able to figure in stab and then the 4 times resist and apply light screen again, we see that this new damage range is going to be somewhere from 329 to 388, which is plenty enough to knock out Steelix. And so on the next slide is a screenshot from the damage calculator, just to kind of show you that I do know what I'm doing here. It's not required that the damage calculator match up with what I say, because I am doing the math based on the damage or based on the damage formula and not based through the calculator. But if you see if you discount the light screen modifier, we saw that before. It was between 499 and 588, and that's exactly what you see there on the screenshot that I've taken. Somewhere
which is actually pretty cool. Like the fact that you just manually showed the same thing as the damage calculator.
Yeah. So I just wanted to give a quick demonstration of that to see, show like this is, I am, the damage calculator is consistent with what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. Anyway. So that's pretty cool. But what are the practical applications of this? Next slide. So, the real thing that you want to do, the real reason why this is good, is because you can tell all the people that had their maximum damage in the game, like, I have 10 billion damage, or I have, 1 billion damage, that they don't actually work because they overflow in the middle, and you actually only deal, 100,000 damage or something like that, so it's not nearly as good, man. And you can also make funny YouTube videos. However, there is more practical applications of understanding the damage formula, which you see on the next slide. And so this is actually really important. If we did not have the right damage formula, we would not be playing on Pokemon Showdown accurately. We would not, when we use our damage calculators to make EV spreads, if we didn't have the accurate damage formula, it would not match up with what we're actually playing on in-game. Mm-hmm. And this matters so much for VGC. Keeping those two things consistent is so incredibly important.
Really important. Really important. Sorry.
Yeah, can you imagine a situation where you trained your Pokemon to be able to survive an attack 100% of the time, but actually in-game, you got knocked out, say, an eighth of the time? An eighth of the time isn't that much. But if that happens to you when you're X2 at, say, Nationals or Worlds, and you're really counting on surviving this attack, and it doesn't happen, that's a big deal. And so making sure that this is accurate, I think, is really important, and it's some of the work that I like to do. And so damage overflow isn't particularly applicable to this, but in general, studying the damage formula is helpful for those researchers that contribute to Pokemon Showdown or to damage calculators in that way. On a personal level, what you can do to make this applicable is by understanding where various modifiers are at in the damage formula, you can sort of explain why your damage calculation that you did is the way that it is. And then also you can learn a lot about the inner workings of the games. But on the next slide, I show a example that Cleffy put out before the VGC 18 meta game started. Cleffy demonstrated that there's a very particular case with, say, Life Orb, Dazzling Gleam versus Komodo. Cleffy supposed that perhaps some Komodo players would want to actually survive this Dazzling Gleam prior to getting your boost, which isn't really done anymore. But let's say you still wanted to do that. And so Cleffy points out, look at the big deviation between, for example, the second to highest damage roll and the maximum damage roll.
What?
Difference of 10.
Why does it do that?
Yeah, it's crazy. And the reason it does that is because a bunch of the modifiers that affect the damage happen after the damage roll is actually created. So all of these multipliers get added on at the end, if you will. And so, for example, if you wanted to make your Komodo survive this attack 100% of the time, it's going to take a lot more EVs than just saying, I'm content with 15/16 of the time. Or even if you look at in the middle, you'll see, like, for example, there's a whole bunch of 161s and then some 172s. That's a difference
a huge
of 10.
Jump.
Yeah, and so that's insane. And to have this sort of difference, like, if you didn't know the proper order to calculate these things in, maybe they'd be more close up and scrunched together, but they're not. And by having the damage formula, or by having a damage calculator be accurate with respect to the damage formula, it's helpful in recognizing these sorts of scenarios and making more informed decisions when EV training your Pokemon. So while I still think there are more useful things you can do with doing advanced EV spreads than studying the damage formula, I think it's still a really cool thing that you can do, and for me, it's something that's very enjoyable.
Cool. And that's the end of the slideshow. I'm just making sure my face cam didn't block. It's Cleffy_VGC if you want to follow the original. Like, I want to credit the original user. I think my face cam blocked it. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. Thank you, Trey. Thank you so much for putting this together. Like, I don't know about, like, personally, I thought this was fascinating. Like, I hadn't seen this before right now, and it's actually, like, really, really, really interesting. And I think also, like, another perk of just understanding the damage formula is that I think it helps you in game to kind of better estimate how much your attacks are going to do, and I think that's actually a really big skill, like being able to like kind of intuitively guess, like if you take like X amount of damage from this attack, how much more you're going to take from the next one. Can you survive another one, or you're going to get KO'd? Stuff like that. Like, I think an understanding of the damage formula, I would assume, helps you a lot.
Yes,
in understanding that. Like, I feel like I can do that okay just because I've been playing for so long, but also, like, I feel like understanding the damage formula is, like, probably a more accurate and a much faster way of, like, learning how much attacks are, like, gonna do based on prior damage. But, yeah, I think that's all from us. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I personally really enjoyed this. Both the battle itself and also the explanation. I felt a little bit like I was back in school, except I was interested in what I was learning, which doesn't always happen for me in school. But yeah, I think that's it. So we'll have Trey back on the channel. Please go check Trey out. Obviously, he does a lot of great work. Twitter, YouTube. Is there anything else you want me to link, Trey?
Those are my primary forms of media you can find me on. Check me out on YouTube. I'm uploading a lot of my games that I was able to save from big international tournaments and stuff like that. So if you're interested in watching some of that kind of stuff, check it out.
Really important work. But yeah, I think that's all I got. You want to add anything, Trey?
Nope. Hey, thanks for having me on, Wolf. It's really fun to do this sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I have a blast as well. I really am grateful that you come on. So thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. This is the last video of July. Peace.